News from Ukraine today. In the Kerch Strait, water drones successfully attacked a Russian large oil tanker. The Sikh tanker were damaged in a nighttime attack by a naval drone near the Crimean Bridge. There were 11 people on board, the Russian Federal Agency for Sea and River Transport reported. The explosion caused a hole in the engine room near the waterline of starboard side. The ship was on the southern approach to the Kerch Strait. Authorities report that there were no injuries among the crew. The issue of towing the tanker to the nearest port is being resolved. Russians intensify attacks in 3 directions in Luhansk region. Heavy fighting continues. The Russian occupants army has intensified attacks in 3 areas in Luhansk region in order to draw the Ukrainian Defense Forces units involved in the counter-offensive in the south of this section of the front. Deputy Defense Minister of Ukraine Hanna Malyar reported this yesterday. According to her, the Russian command continues to concentrate its main efforts on the Kupyan, Swativ and Lyman directions. The invaders hope to exhaust the defense of the Ukrainian military in these areas and force the command to redeploy units involved in offensive operations. The Russian command also aims to regain the territories lost as a result of the Ukrainian counteroffensive in the Kharkiv region. The enemy believes that by striking in the east, they will be able to turn the tide on the front line. Yesterday and today, our troops have been repelling enemy attacks in the Kupyan, Lyman, and Swativ directions. The number of enemy attacks has increased. Heavy fighting continues, Malyar wrote. She emphasized that a difficult and exhausting struggle is underway in the east, but despite this, the Ukrainian military does not allow the occupiers to realize their plans. Occupiers plan to mobilize another 1,000 prisoners in the Donetsk region. In the temporary occupied territory of the Donetsk regions, Russians have intensified the mobilizations of prisoners and defendants. In addition, local law enforcement officers collaborates are being sent to the army before being recruited to serve in the occupation authorities. This was reported by the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. According to them, the mobilization of prisoners continues. Terrorists have received a task to mobilize 1,000 prisoners and suspects in crimes in the temporarily occupied territory of the Donetsk region. In case of injury, people are not expunged or demobilized but returned to the front, the General Staff added. Collaborating the police officers who betrayed their oath and went over to the Russian Federation are also being forcibly mobilized. The Russians decide to recertify them only after they have completed combat missions. 4. Shoigu traveled to North Korea to ask for ammunition, U.S. intelligence reports. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu traveled to North Korea on the occasion of the armistice in the Korean War to ask Pyongyang to increase the supply of ammunition to the Russian army. Our information indicates that Russia is looking to expand military cooperation with North Korea, for example, by North Korea selling artillery ammunition to Russia, Kirby said. He added that this is yet another example of how desperate Putin is now because his war machine is being affected by sanctions and export controls. According to Kirby, the Russian president is seeking help from the DPRK and Iran and has also tried to reach out to China to get support for his war machine. During his visit to Pyongyang, Shoigu convened a message from Putin in which he thanked North Korean leader Kim Jong-un for his unwavering support for Russia's special military operation in Ukraine. In response, Kim gave Shoigu a tour of a large North Korean weapons exhibition, which included new drones and intercontinental ballistic missiles. A week after Shoigu's visit to the DPRK, a Russian military plane landed in Pyongyang, a South Korean newspaper reported. This plane is used for high-level military delegations. North Korea has short-range ballistic missiles that have similar characteristics to Russia's Iskander missiles, military analyst says.